Cyberpunk Edgerunners Season 2, chat. Let's take a look at this. I am going to predict something, and it's going to pain me to say this, because there are a lot of people making predictions or guesses and predictions about what Season 2 will be about. The only thing we have to go on is the trailer, which we will not be watching. You can go watch it your own. All right. So the creator of Edgerunners said he's coming back for Season 2 because the fans aren't sad enough. And I'm going to explain to you how that's going to play out. The only possible way that can play out, right?
What's he filming?
That's the only possible way it can play out. All right. Now, we do see this character. There's probably some girl reporter, right? She...
2 girls, 1 cup.
Remedies, shut up. I'm not even going to repeat that one. Ain't no way you said that. So, he or she is probably the main character and films, he probably worked for the news, right? You know what? I will even go as far to say that she probably was filming everything that went on in Edgerunners 1. She was probably the cameraman. That means she's incredibly fast. She probably spends her free time being the cameraman for Dragon Ball. we have a story that's about the cameraman, chat. Maybe. So someone make sure to remember I said that. We have a story about the cameraman.
She's filming a new horror movie.
Probably. You know what? You might actually be onto something, Doctor, because it might line up to what I'm about to explain. So the creator of Edgerunners says he wants to make the new season sadder for the viewers, and I think the only way that can happen is that you take a character. King Remedy says, it's strange to me that they are filming in the first place in a world where people have built in cyberware that does it better. You know what? She probably one of those she likes collecting old technology. Kind of like, oh man, music sounds way better on a record player. I'm like, okay. So she probably prefers the old tech. That's probably why. But I know exactly what you mean by that, King Remedy. So to make this anime season, the new season, sadder, 2 things are going to happen. One of 2 things are going to happen. Or it might be both. I doubt it. 2 things might happen. 1, they take a character we care about. That could be any character. What is that? That could be any character. Chat. Any character. Why is that in there? That's not in the anime. Yeah, chat. That's going to be the forest. This character, or it could... Let me rephrase that. King Remy says, I think it might be that they are too young to have cyberware. Possible. That's very possible. I believe they're going to take her. She's going to show up in the anime. Because in the trailer, they said, what's his face is dead. Right, chat? They said he's dead. There's a lot of rumors that think that he was alive. But they made sure to put that in there like he's dead. You know who else might not be dead, chat? Rebecca. I think Rebecca's alive. So here's the thing, chat. Rebecca might be the best character in Edgerunners. I think so, because I heard her name more than I heard anybody else's name throughout the internet. King Remedy says, kind of like how kids grow up with tattoos, look super messed up from growing. If you get cyberware too young, it messes up your growth. You know, that could be true. That's probably why she's holding that camera. The creator will take a character that we love and not kill them, but make them suffer forever. Or they will take a character who's like Rebecca. She, died. They will bring her back and she will suffer in cyberspace. One of these 2 things will happen. When it comes to death, chat, it just won't happen, chat. It just won't happen. Because if the creator wants to make people sad, it won't involve death. No. He's already done that. That happened in Season 1, where everybody died. Yeah, it just won't happen. You know what's sadder, chat? Seeing a character that you love come back to or be in a living heck, right? Suffering for however long. Because in Cyberpunk, we already know that death isn't the end. We already know this. It's going to play a very big part. A very big part. Doctor says the Final Destination movie. Pretty much the last season. It's just how everyone died. Everyone just dies like Final Destination. So in this new season, that won't be the thing, chat. It's good. It's easily. King Remedy says, I assume you saw the official English release of the Cyberpunk Madness manga is coming 2026. I assume though that it will be out much earlier from translators on piracy sites. Ah, they come out with a manga, huh? Hope they do it well. I hope they do it well to add more lore to all of this. Because Cyberpunk is probably the only game I really just gone through and just read a lot of the lore, chat. I could. Oh man, I love Cyberpunk, and I love hearing more about them being in outer space. I think King Remedy actually told me about some outer space DLC or something like that. I don't personally see any other way for them to create a sadder anime aside from making our favorite animes suffer. Chat. I mean, our favorite anime characters suffer, right? And here's the thing: if this happens, I probably will not be watching season 2. I don't think so. Chat. Look. I'm not a hippie, right? I'm not in the slightest. But I do not want. You know that one anime where the elven? It's like a movie. The elven lady who lives like forever. She found a baby, she raised it, and it died, right? Like it just does like not appeal to me. She watched her baby that she adopted grow up and die right before her eyes. He died an old man, right? And while she's walking away from that cabin, she turns around to see the place that she raised her baby, who grew old and died. She outlived her own baby. And she wept, chat. I'm not watching that anime. I barely want to watch Frieren because I already know what's going to happen, and it's sad. Maybe. I mean, they might find some magic that allows them to live longer. If that doesn't happen, I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. King Remedy says it's the Rebecca manga from before, and what you said was so interesting. The manga has panels that have the relic in it. See, chat, I'm on to something. Here's the thing, chat. It's going to be very hard for season 2 for them to bring in a character in season 2, right? That will make us love a character in that season more than the characters that we already love in season 1. They got very lucky with striking gold with Rebecca, because they was going to remove Rebecca. They were going to remove her, but they agreed to keep her. And she became the best character in the anime, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion. I would say. Most people love Rebecca more than any other character, right? I think that's a fair thing to say. He's going to bring Rebecca back. If he is planning to make season 2 sadder, the only way for him to really strike gold with that is to not roll the dice with trying to make us like another character. What's going to happen is that he's going to bring back Rebecca, who is the favorite character. Bring her back and make us sad with how her life is turning out. Some RoboCop nonsense where like only a few of her organs survived and maybe half of her brain, right? Something where she's not dead, but she's not living, right? That could easily be a part. And she's like in the hands of someone who's like misusing her body in some way, shape, or form, right? Chat. One of the anime that we saw, or that I saw, what was it? It was the Overlord, where the one of the bad guys took one of the good guys, some lady who was supposed to be like some holy lady. He picks her up. He was a giant. He picks her up and start using her like a club and like, smashing people. It was gruesome. Knocked out all her teeth. It was like the bloodiest thing I've ever seen in an anime. I don't know if it's the bloodiest thing I've ever seen in an anime, but no, it was probably up there with one of the bloodiest things I've ever seen. Used her body like a battering ram, knocked out her teeth, and then when the scene went over to like a new scene, like a few minutes later, like 10, 20 minutes later, that same monster came back, right? That same monster showed up and he was still holding her body, but her body was was charred up, and one of the characters who was like trying to she was holding out hope that that girl was still alive, right? And she was holding out hope when she saw that, oh, she's dead. She's dead. Now, not only did she see that she was dead, and the monster was still holding her body, her charred body, the monster hit her with the body, and the body just broke out into chunks. That is, and then you see the lady trying to get all the chunks together, like some, that scene in the day that the president died, and his wife was just trying to get the brain chunks. It's the gruesomest thing I've ever seen. That right there is sad. That was sad in that anime. That was terrible, because you saw someone who was holding out hope, someone that loved her, right, and was loyal to her as her knight in shining armor, and she was beautiful, right, to turn into like mincemeat, literal mincemeat, right? It's, like I said before in the last video that I talked about that anime, is that you see something horrible happen to a character that you didn't really have any emotional involvement, by the way. You just, like, she was just there, right? And she was important, but she was just there, right? You'd be like, oh, that's terrible. What happened to her? Like, what happened to her? And then she comes in like 30 minutes later. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's still going. Her body isn't even, what even is she now? That's horrific, right? They're going to take that level of intensity. The creator of Edgerunners is going to take that level of intensity and put it into Edgerunners Season 2. Maybe not be as gory, right? But it's going to be crazy. If his goal is to make he said this, by the way, he wants to make Edgerunners 2. He's coming back because he felt like the fans weren't sad enough. He said this. The only way for him to succeed is to bring back Rebecca and give her something worse than death. And in the game of Edgerunners, you see that some people don't stay dead. Their consciousness is in cyberspace, chat. Their consciousness is in cyberspace, whether it's the real them or not. Some people just don't stay dead. And that leaves room for something way more horrific. What was it? What was that one anime where I was watching Game Grumps play it, but I got tired of waiting for the next episode to come out, so I just watched all the lore for it. Where the main characters, they were in cyberspace. They found out that they were in cyberspace, and they've just been dying again and again and again and again. Like every new life they've been living, like it's new, right? They don't remember their past. They don't know their future. They don't know that they've just been dying in an infinite loop in different ways, right? They just didn't know that. But King Remedy says, I just borrowed Reddit a bit, and there are some interesting theories there. There are a lot of theories, chat. I think my theory is going to hold up. My theory is going to hold up. And here's the thing. If my theory doesn't play out, then it's not sad enough. King Remedy says, being in Mikashi prison is so much worse than death. They can't torture you. Change your personality and change. They can torture you, change your personality, and change your memories. Yeah. See? Doctor says, like a FNAF theory. Probably. Probably. That's funny. FNAF. But, so the chat, Season 2, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Season 2 will have, someone in my comments said something about, I didn't really, he was like a naysayer or something like that to my theory about Rebecca coming back. And I said this, King Remedy was there, I think. I'm pretty sure, no, King Remedy was not there. It was like a little bit before that, I think, where I said, Rebecca will be coming back. I just didn't think Rebecca was going to come back to make us all cry. Chat, I saw something horribly sad. Right, chat? I saw something horribly sad where this kid had 1,000-yard stare. This kid had 1,000-yard stare. He's like 3 years old. 3 years old. This drives the bookkeeper off a wall, by the way. She doesn't like this. He has a 1,000-yard stare because Israel blew up his home. 1,000-yard stare. And he is not the only kid who had his home blown up by Israel. Chat, I don't care which part of the owl you're on, whether you're on the left or the right. If either you are harming children, you're both demons. You're both monsters. Even if you're doing it for self-preservation, you did bad. I understand why you did it, but you did bad. I bring this up because if this anime does create the perfect story of sadness, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't need pain. I don't need sadness. I don't need to see that level of sadness of anything, be it fiction or real. I don't want anything to do with it, chat, right? If season 2 becomes a 10 out of 10 anime, it deserves an award. That means the season 2 is in a position where I don't want to watch it because it's too horrible to think about. I actually talked with the bookkeeper about this. If season 2 doesn't get banned in at least one country, it's not going to be gruesome or horrible enough. Oh, well, she didn't say enough, but it's not going to be gruesome or horrible. It's going to be more just my heart hurts. King Remedy says modern war and politics around it are ridiculous. And he also says, imagine getting anime of the year 2 times at the point you have to go for 3. If he goes for season 3 for this anime, if he goes for season 3 for this anime, and he's only doing it to make people more sad, like he said he would do for season 2, he's just going to keep using Rebecca. There's no way you can make someone... It would take luck in a new season to make us like another character as much as people like Rebecca. That's going to be his tool, chat. That's going to be his tool. Doctor says he's a demon. You're not a demon. You're not a demon. But it's going to take Rebecca to make this season 2 sad, chat. It's going to take that, because there's no character he can create in season 1 that will make people care. King Remedy says, if Cyberpunk season 2 gets anime of the year after season 1 got it, Cyberpunk will submit itself as anime of all time. I could see that. I can easily see that. Anyway, chat, I think I've talked about this enough. All right. I think we can move on from this. All right. Now we just have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, on with the rest of the show.